Hey, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to tackle a really big one for pharmacists looking to move down under, the Australian Pharmacy Equivalency Exam. We're going to break down what it is, what to expect, and most importantly, how to prepare without wasting your time.
So, right off the bat, I know what you're thinking. Is this exam hard? It's the #1 question everyone asks. Well, the answer is probably not in the way you're expecting. The real difficulty is hiding in plain sight. Okay, so get this. The real challenge, the thing that trips most people up, isn't actually the questions on the exam. It's the wild goose chase of finding the right information and the best study materials. You're a busy professional, and that hunt can eat up so much of your valuable time.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the exam itself. It's now called the OPRA exam, and knowing how it's set up is, step one to cracking it.
So here's the quick rundown. You're looking at 120 multiple-choice questions. They give you about 2.5 hours, but honestly, a lot of people are done in about an hour and a half. It runs 3 times a year, March, July, and November, and yeah, the price tag is a little hefty, coming in at over 2,000 Australian dollars.
Now, this is a huge deal and something you really need to understand. The old exam, called CAPS, was brutal. You had to pass every single section. If you failed one, you failed the whole thing. But with OPRA, they just look at your total score. So if you're a little weak in one area, you can make up for it somewhere else. Big difference. All right, this is where things get really interesting. There's a pretty major gap between what the official guide says on the exam and what you'll actually see on test day.
So officially, if you go and look at the Australian Pharmacy Council's guide, this is the breakdown they give you. Therapeutics is the biggest chunk, sure, but you can see that the sciences, biomed, pharma, and chem are supposed to make up a combined 45% of the exam, or so they say.
But here's what people who've actually taken the exam are saying. And wow, it is a completely different story. The reality is that therapeutics absolutely dominates the whole thing, with somewhere around 80 questions. And those other science sections? They practically disappear.
I am not kidding. We've heard from so many test takers who walked out saying they got maybe 1 or 2 chemistry questions, and some, they got 0 questions on biomedical sciences or medicinal chemistry. That's a huge chunk of the official syllabus that just wasn't there.
Okay, so if the official guide is kind of misleading and the basic sciences are no-show, then what is the secret? How do you pass this thing without wasting months studying the wrong stuff?
The answer, my friends, is something called recalls. It's a really simple idea. These are just collections of questions that have actually appeared on previous exams, and they are without a doubt the most powerful study tool you can get your hands on.
And if you're wondering just how important they are, get ready for this. A staggering 75%. Yeah, you heard that right. Up to 3/4 of the questions on your exam are going to be questions that have appeared before. That is a total game changer.
So think about it. If you nail the recalls, you've basically got 75% of the exam in the bag before you even walk in. The other 25% is just your general pharmacy knowledge, a few questions about Australian laws, and a tiny handful, maybe 10%, of brand new questions you've never seen before.
But hold on, before we get too carried away with study strategy, there's a hurdle you have to clear first, and that's your paperwork. This is step 0, and messing this up can stop you right in your tracks.
It really boils down to 3 main things you need to get together. First, your degree certificate and transcript. Second, your license to practice pharmacy. And third, your ID, like your passport. Simple enough, right? Well, there's a catch.
And here's a rule with absolutely no wiggle room. If any of your documents aren't in English, they have to be translated. And it can't be just any translation. It must be done by an officially certified service.
Okay, everybody lean in for this one. I'm serious. This is probably the single most important piece of administrative advice I can give you. It's so simple, but it trips up a ton of people and causes major headaches.
Here it is, your name. The English spelling of your name has to be exactly the same on your degree, on your license, on your passport. I mean, identical. No middle initial here and not there, no slight spelling difference. It has to match perfectly, or you're looking at a rejection and a long delay.
So when you put it all together, you realize something pretty powerful. The key to this exam isn't about studying harder, it's about studying smarter. It's about focusing your energy on what actually gets tested. So knowing that the real challenge is strategy, not difficulty, the question is, how are you going to prepare?